one of the huge issues with me is just parental involvement with the children. I mean, it's a big issue in my mind, but obviously it's a huge issue throughout education. And I think we can all see that where there's more parental involvement, kids are going to do better. Mm-hmm. Students are going to do better. Another big issue is I think about the broader picture. As I think about Michigan and the United States and how we compete in this world's economy, you touched on it, education. There's been some polls last few years that showed that some of the parents in Michigan do not rate education or continuing education as high as it should be, as I believe it should be rated. And so there's not that perhaps as much encouragement to continue their education. Do you see this kind of effort in bringing services to the schools and thereby maybe interacting with parents a bit more around those, not only the social issues, but around the educational issues? Is this a way to help engage parents a bit more and maybe focus a little bit more on the importance of education?
Well, you know, I think we're dealing with, in the state of Michigan, we're dealing with the fact that for so many years, people didn't need an education. They could go into a manufacturing job with minimal skills and make a good living and be successful. Well, that day is ending, and education is more important than it's ever been. I think schools have done a great job in the past of reaching out, but this adds to their ability to attract parents, attract different members of the community into the schools because there's more services offered in the schools. And we've listed a number of agencies that this brings together. But one thing maybe we haven't touched on is the fact that the community resource coordinator isn't just bringing in agencies and healthcare individuals to work, but there are community members coming into these schools from area churches, volunteering, coming into the schools at a level that I think is higher than in the past. And if we can continue to do that, I think we will be able to communicate, the need for education and the importance and the success that our students can have if they are well educated. So I think we can have an impact on that as well.
That's great, and that's what I like to hear. I like to hear about the community involvement because I think that's really where a big part of our salvation in this whole economic situation is that the community is involved in helping itself through helping its children. So we've got an even broader partnership perhaps than what we had typically thought about because we've got those volunteers, those community members involved in coming in. That's great. That's excellent. What's the next step for the Kent School Services Network? What's your next step in helping to? We really want to.
We are really trying to keep it with the schools that we currently are working with, so that we can prove that it is really a viable program. The big issue is funding, and that's where we're seeing the real marriage, if you will, of private resources like the Grand Rapids Community Foundation, Steelcase, Fry, and the DeVos Foundations. And the DeVos Foundations are helping to fund the evaluation. And married with the public resources as well, and really trying to be creative with that. We're also trying to figure out a way, Senator, to make sure that that we can make this a model for the state. And you know that we've been knocking on your door quite a bit to help us with that, so that it is a new way of looking at how services can be provided to families, and that it really does need the collaboration of the state, the Department of Community Health, the Human Services, and all the other organizations to do what we've done at the local level, to replicate that at the state level, and so that the funding streams can be consistent to help fund this. I will tell you that at the Community Foundation, we are so almost rabid about this program because we know that it's going to work, and it has been working. In fact, we are just about ready to make another investment in the program, which will essentially make our investment $1.5 million. That's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money. You know, and the reality is that the consistent funding for this is really going to come as we move forward in partnership with the governmental resources. And I have to say, Kent County, the county office has been tremendous leaders in really pulling this all together through the coordinating council, and I will say the Kent Intermediate School District has been a fabulous leader in this as well. So all the pieces are in place. We just want to, when we move out to spread this out a little bit more, we just want to make sure that we've got the funding, that we're not making promises that we can't keep. Well,
that's very important. Now, obviously there's a lot of public funding in it currently, because as the state provides funding for the Department of Human Services, they've got someone there. Funding is provided for community health or network 180.
Right.
Funding is there, but what you're looking at, is there a benefit to be able to, how should we say, block grant some of the money so that there's not the same kind of, typically there are restrictions based on the kind of service that's provided.
Right.
Categorical funding is sometimes one of the ills that you have to deal with. But might there be some advantage? We all realize that the tight funding, the tight dollars, but is there some advantage to doing more block grant funding for this type of
I think
situation?
so, and I'll tell you, that would be an innovative approach, a solution that we've seen in other places, but an innovative approach so that each community, different perhaps, maybe in Alpena they wouldn't do the same thing, but it would be great to be able to have that resource of being able to have that type of funding to do what we know will work here in Kent County.
That's great. That's great. Well, we're having a great conversation, and we knew this would happen. Our time has gone by pretty quickly, but I just want to ask one more question. If a group or a business would want to be involved in this, how can they involve themselves in this effort?
Well, there's a website that you can go to. It's the Intermediate School District website, www.kentisd.org/KSSN. Just type in Kent Intermediate School District and you'll get to the resource.
You'll get to the link.
Well, thank you very much for talking about this very exciting program.
Thank you.
The exciting part, and I wish we had more time to talk about it, is what it really does for individuals.
Yeah.
I understand that you're doing an evaluation, and we're going to be able to see in numbers how it's making a difference in the lives of people. But when it touches the lives of these individuals, and they're more excited about school, they learn more, they're going to do better at life, we get enough of that happening, that's going to help all of us. So thank you very much for your efforts here and throughout the community. We appreciate it. And I just want to say to my audience, thanks so much for listening. We have tried to let you see about another very important program in Kent County. We'll bring you more in the future. Thanks so much for being here, and let's keep the positive going right here in good old West Michigan. Thanks a lot. This is Bill Hardiman. Have a blessed day.